Hello everyone, welcome to Crafting on a Budget. I want to thank each and every single one of you guys that has recently subscribed to my channel. Please, if you have not done so already, please subscribe to my channel. Click the little bell on the right hand side that will remind you whenever I go live or whenever I upload a video. Also, share my videos with others because sharing is caring, and caring, we share because we care, right? So for those of you guys that has left me some beautiful comments, I have selected the winners and I announced it on Facebook, but I will announce it here. The overall results was I picked two people. One was Nana, which I've already shipped to her, and the other is Sonia, and I believe Sonia is in the Netherlands. So I've been gathering a few little things here and there from Dollar Tree that I think she might like. And so as soon as I get all my stuff for her, I'm going to be shipping out to her so she can experience Dollar Tree in her country. So hopefully in the next few days or so, I'm waiting on Dollar Tree. So my Dollar Tree is putting Christmas stuff out slowly, and every time I go in, it's like, okay, you put one little item out. So they're being finicky and holding back on us. It's like I see all these other people with Christmas stuff out and ours is just holding out. So I've been selectively selecting little things here and there from Dollar Tree that I think she might like. So as soon as I get it all, I'm going to be shipping out to her and hopefully she'll like what I've selected. Now, that is that. I have been super busy with school, way busier than I had anticipated, so that's why you haven't seen me around here. And so I just needed time away from YouTube, basically. Well, without any further ado, I think we need to start on our next tutorial. So I was contacted, as I've already said, to recreate the video that I had done on the wax rubs. And here's what you're going to need. You're going to need some yellow beeswax, 100%. And I will put the link below for my Amazon account so you can purchase it from my Amazon. Every little bit helps me recuperate some of my supplies. You will also need mica pigmented powders or any pigmented powder such as Pearl X. These I picked up at Hobby Lobby, and as you can see, I paid $1.49 for this one. It's a citrine color. I'm not sure, there's very little in here. I'm not sure if they still have that because obviously I got it at $1.49. It's been a while. And then this one is the dual blue green. I paid $5.99 and I know I used my 40% coupon because I would have found that very expensive. But you're going to need that. You can use eyeshadows as long as they're very pigmented. Now, if it's an eyeshadow that's very small amount, like a small, tiny, less than a quarter teaspoon, you really don't want to mess with that because sometimes you might need a little bit more pigment in to give it a nice color. So you don't want to use eyeshadows that you're not going to have enough of, if you know what I mean. So don't go out and buy specific eyeshadows, especially not in Dollar Tree, but for $1 I don't think so. But at least try to get enough that you will have anywhere from 1 to 2 teaspoons of pigment, okay? That's why I prefer it this way versus the eyeshadow way. And as I said, I did use the eyeshadow, but I like to use a lot, make a lot, like a big bash, like I make these. And I can't do that when it's an eyeshadow because, and of course this has been used, because it's just a small amount and you can't make too much with it. So just keep that in mind. If you are going to use eyeshadow, you might want to adjust some of the ingredients so that it's suitable for the amount of eyeshadow that you have, and you're going to have to play it by ear to see what you put in more of. So just as an FYI, you can do that. Now, Yvonne Grubbs, she did a video tutorial on how to create your own wax using food coloring. I have not tried that, but we can experiment with a couple little colors here and there. just to see what we can come up with. Now, you also need some mineral oil. Now, this one you can purchase at Walmart for less than $2, and it's a good deal. So you need some mineral oil. You need a storage container. Now, these I purchased at Amazon. I will put the link below so you can use that as well. You want to use metal storage containers if you don't have a melting pot, because what I do is on the other ones I use my melting pot, and that's why I was able to pour it directly onto this plastic container, which I purchased at Dollar Tree, and I think it was like a pack of 6. It's been too long, I don't remember. But from my melting pot I poured it into here. You don't want to heat anything into these plastic containers because you're going to melt that. So ideally what you want to do is have a melting pot to melt, or maybe a old can, recycled can, like one of those vegetable cans or tomato paste cans, one of those. Heat it up in there, pour it into this container if that's more affordable for you right now, but you don't want to heat it up directly in here. This one I heat it up directly as I done in the other ones. I can heat it up directly in there. Now Dollar Tree does have these 2 for $1. The only thing about this one is that it's so narrow that I can't, it makes more of a splattered mess. This one, not so much. So I prefer this one versus this one, even though this is 2 for $1. It's quicker. You can run to Dollar Tree and pick it up if your Dollar Tree has it, but I prefer this container overall. Then, let's see, mineral oil, popsicle sticks to stir. You need a measuring spoon. I'm using a teaspoon, and I try to keep these are only used for my crafting needs. And I also use a regular spoon, and I have applied a little bit of the mineral oil in and around the spoon, because once I pour my last ingredient, I want to make sure it kind of slips right off and not stays on it to make it easy cleaning. You also need some forceps. Okay, if you have Harbor Freight, you can get that really cheap there. You will also need some printing labels. You can cut them up. You can see I've cut those up. And another option is Minwax finishing wax. Now, I use this for my furniture when I'm chalk painting, but you can use this as well with some of the bonding agent. You don't want to use mineral oil on this because it already has a little bit of oil inside, so you don't need mineral oil if you're using this one, okay? But you will need your bonding agent. The bonding agent's what's going to make your wax adhere to your surface, whether it's paper, chipboard, or wood. Whatever surface has to have that bonding agent. Without it, it's not going to bond, and it's just going to be rubbing right off. So, and it's going to be really messy and oily. So just make sure you add a bonding agent so that it adheres to your surface. Alright, I think, looking around, oh, and your heat gun. If you don't have a melting pot, which I absolutely miss mine, you need a heat gun. For this one here, these here that I've done, I've had to use my heat gun. It takes a lot more work, but it's doable, okay? It is totally doable. You just need to heat it up consistently, whereas with the melting pot, you can pour your wax in and mix everything within that little melting pot and pour it into your container. This way, I have to constantly heat when I'm mixing things up just to get it right, okay? So, what is our bonding agent? Well, our bonding agent is what's going to make that wax adhere to our surface. And for that, you're going to need clear glue, either this Elmer's clear glue or Elaine's clear glue from Walmart. Do not use the white glue. You know how Elaine has the white glue or Elmer has the white glue? Don't use that, because that's going to make it so much harder to mix and blend. And I kid you not, it takes a lot longer to mix and blend that glue that you do not, I repeat, you do not want to use the white glue. You want to use a clear glue versus a white glue. And if you try it, because you have it, you'll see what I mean. It's just going to take you a lot longer to melt and blend that glue within your colors that you have, okay? All right, I think we have it all, so let's begin. So I started over here, and I have a little surface over here with a sheet of white printer paper. This is my little testing to make sure that it's the right consistency. So I try to go off like I do with my cooking. I taste as I go to make sure it's the right. I never have the right measurements, but for this particular tutorial, I think I got down a good measurement for you guys that you guys can use, and it should work, okay? If it doesn't, just tweak it here and there to make sure it's suitable for you. All right, so let's begin. So I have some beeswax. I have a half a cup. I just took a half a cup of beeswax and poured it inside my container. And you see the little pellets. And you're just going to take and pour it into your melting pot, or as I'm doing here, into your tin container, and just hold it there. Every now and then you might take your popsicle stick and stir it, but as you can see, it melts pretty fast. It really does. I just wish I had the melting pot, because with the melting pot I don't have to constantly keep reheating it as I'm stirring. So you'll see what I mean if you try it this way. It just makes life a lot easier. You can also try a candle warmer, but the idea behind it is that while it's liquefied, it makes it easier for you to blend and mix your pigments and all your other ingredients. So just make sure that it is in liquefied form to be able to mix all your ingredients together, okay? So we're just gonna warm this up and melt it. And it gets hot. That tin gets very, very, very hot. It doesn't take too long to melt. Just have a little bit of patience, guys. See, I like this one better because I don't get the splatters that I was getting with the smaller container. I have a little bit more control on this one, and I'm not making such a huge mess. If you fear that you're going to make a mess, make sure you put some wax paper down and that your surface is well protected, because wax is, it's not that it's hard to clean off, but you're going to have to reheat it, which you can, melt it, and then wipe it off with a baby wipe. So have baby wipes handy, but just know that you will make a little bit of a mess. That's to be expected. I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to mix it in just a tad bit to get some of this. This stuff gets hot. Even the forceps are hot. Whew, baby. And I got my baby wipes handy because I like to clean my fingers as I'm testing in between. Kind of get it off the sides, scrape it off. Right. And I start to heat out and then go in. That way I have less splatters. Like I said, those Dollar Tree ones are really good. But if you're going to use those, just know that you're going to have a bit of a splatter issue, because it's so, the width is not that, great, I guess. and you're going to have a little bit of a splatter. Perfect if you have your melting pot, but not if you're doing the heat like I am doing here. That was my little forceps. We got a little bit of bad weather here, guys. A little bit bad weather. These are really good, these rubs, for even metal. Like I said, paper, chipboard, wood, metal works great. Even like tile, you get, as long as you heat set it, you'll get a really nice metallic look if you're going for that. I wish I had some other pigment powders, but I think I gifted it away when I was destashing last year. So when I was looking for them, I was like, oh man, I must have given that away. You can also use crayons. Crayons will work as well. It's wax. So use crayons. If you bought crayons for school, for your kids' school, that was at 25 cents. Like, I would not pay $1 at Dollar Tree for crayons. No way. But if you bought some of the 25 cents pack of crayons when school supplies were on sale, use those. Melt those down. Put some of that color in here. Shave it. Put some in. It should work. I don't have any crayons. Otherwise, I would have used some. My kids are big now. They don't get into the crayons. Although, I think Brianna might have a box of crayons somewhere in the closet. I would have to dig to see. See a little bit of the pellets still there. You want it really hot because, like I said, it makes it a lot easier for you to blend in colors while it's hot. So now I'm just going to take some of this Pro X, I would say about a teaspoon of it. Pour that in. And I'm going to mix a little bit of the citrine just to give it a nice little shimmer. Again, it's about a teaspoon. And if it starts to cool off, get your heat gun on, and give it a little bit of a blast. Start from the outside, go in. You want more of a bluish color. I'm probably going to add a little bit more of my blue. It's a nice color though. It's got a nice bluish gold tone. Really nice. Mix it, get around the sides really good. Mix it really good. Again, heat it. It's the heat that keeps blending it in and mixing it in really well. And I'm going to go ahead with more of this blue, another teaspoon of that, I would say it's about a teaspoon. I'm eyeballing. I eyeball even when I'm cooking. Kids, my daughters always say, Mom, what did you put in it? How many teaspoons? How many tablespoons? I'm like, I don't know, I just eyeballed it. Looks nice. I think I'm going to go with another teaspoon of that one. Why not? I've got plenty of it here. Alright, why not? Let's see what we get. So far I have 3 teaspoons of the blue-green dual and about 1 teaspoon of the citrine color. I don't know if that's in Hobby Lobby or not anymore. Again, see how I'm heating it in between each little step? That's what you want to do. You want to make sure you heat it up so that it's blending in really well. Okay, liking it, liking it. I think that's good. It's a nice little shimmery color. So the citrine gives it a nice shimmery color, where the blue was a little bit blah. As you saw that one, it was a little blah, not as shimmery. I like this one. Yeah, nice. Okay, warm it up a little bit more, and then I'm going to go in with about 6 to 7 teaspoons of my mineral oil. Again, heating it up in between. So I'm going to go about 6 teaspoons of my mineral oil. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You can see it starts to harden up quick, so you want to go in and start stirring so you can mix it. See, that's why I like this container better, because I have better control and less splatter. So mix it in, heat it up, mix it in really well. Get your sides. Now I'm going to do a little bit of a test. Grab some, go on my side here, and see, that's beautiful. See that? That is nice. Yes, that is nice right there. And even with just the mineral oil, I have very little, and you don't see the oil. You don't want oil. See that? If you turn it over, there's no oil seepage. That's because we have the right consistency of the oil and the wax. You don't want to just put oil, because otherwise you're going to ruin your project. You want to make sure you have that right bonding agents to bond your project, okay? I'm going to shut this off of here, and I'm going to reheat this, because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about a tablespoon of the clear glue. Okay, but you want to make sure, and I've already put some oil, as you can see there's oil there, and I do that just because I want to make sure that it just rolls off. I'm going to start off with about a tablespoon of it. See how easy it rubs off, it rolls right off the spoon. Makes it a lot easier. Okay. And it also makes it easier when you're going to clean it up. Trust me. Alright, so let's stir it. See how hard it gets? Heat it up. Because it's a cold substance and we're putting it right into... But the clear works so much better than the white glue. Elmer's glue, oh, forget it. The Elmer's white glue, oh, it's a mess. Trust me, I have worked around this to figure out the right consistency. And Elmer's glue, it is a pain in the booty to even get to mix and blend in. The lean's not so bad. It's a little bit more watery than the Elmer's glue. But the Elmer's white glue, and I'm saying that as I'm pouring in Elmer's clear glue, but this is a difference. Clear is better than the white. You don't want the white. And when I mean white is This is Elmer's glue in here that I poured in here because I buy that big gallon. You don't want that white one. No way. That will not work. So test it with 1 tablespoon. If you see that you have a good consistency, just go around the sides, scrape your popsicle stick. It's warm. Test it. Grab some in your finger and go into your surface and rub it in. Okay? And go like that. If you get too much where it's not, if you get it where it's really, really oily and you get it on your finger, then you need to put more glue. If you heat set it and it doesn't set, then you know you really need to get in there and apply more glue. But if I heat set this here, and then I'm going to rub my fingers. See, even me rubbing, look at that. I didn't have any on my hands, right? None on the baby wipe because it's pretty much set, okay? Now, look, okay? Oh, that one has a little. But you want to be able to not rub that off as bad. So, again, you don't want to have it on. Heat set it. Let's get this in. Now I've rubbed off a little, as you saw. Not too bad, because it's freshly made. Not too bad, see? And again, like I said, you can take your baby wipe. And let's try again. I'm going to put a big glob of it so you can see. Better. Okay, so I have some on my finger, of course. Rub that on there because I'm cleaning my finger. Now let's heat set that sucker. That way I know whether or not I have enough glue in there. If when I heat set it, because normally typically if you heat set and it stays, then it's good. So let's let it cool off. And you want to see, make sure that it's not seeping over. And I gotta wipe right off. All right. Well, that one has a little bit because I put a little bit thicker. So let's let that sit a little bit longer, because see, I applied a thicker amount of it. Let's try that again. I just want to make sure, that's why I like to play around, make sure I heat set it. Okay, with my fingers. Let's heat set that. Let that one sit. Let's heat set this one. And I'll play around with this one. Let's show you this one. I love this one. Now that one I did it with several colors. I know citrine was one of them. I can't remember the other colors. I used citrine. I used a little bit of black, pearl, X in there, just to give it that gold bronzy color, and a little bit of brown. Let it cool off. And over here, we can come over here. See that? Just a little bit, not a whole lot's coming on my hands. but you want it to be able to stay that way. You don't want something that's going to pop in and you're going to get a mess in your hands, okay? Of course, naturally that one wasn't dried because I just got into a puddle of it. But you want to mess around until you get the right consistency. So this one, I might need a little bit more glue in here. Let's do this little one here. See this one here? The gold one? Or yeah, the gold bronze color. It's the right consistency. So that is great because it's not coming right off on my hand. See? It's not coming on my hand. Okay, so that's great. So now I'm just going to go heat this up a little bit more because I realized that I want something that's going to really, once I heat set it, I want it to stay. I don't want it to be rubbing all over and coming off. So I'm going to put probably another tablespoon of the Elmer's clear glue. And again, heat set it, get it hot so that you can mix in your little ingredient here. And that's just me being I want to add a little bit more so that we're not, see how that gets really clumpy? I want to heat set it. And I want to make sure that I have the right consistency. Now this one I know I added more of the pigment colors, so that's probably why I'm adding more glue. So you want to play around, test it, because as you saw I added more pigment, so with that comes more bonding. Warming it up and just stirring it, making sure everything is very well blended and mixed. Okay. See that? That clear glue is so nice. So nice. Like it. Okay. Fingers are clean. On my finger. Let's see. Hopefully this should work. This should work. Let's wipe my finger. Let's heat set it. And let it sit. And I also have this little emboss paper here. Now this one here was, that embossing folder was gifted to me by Miss Judy Dominguez. Thank you, Miss Judy. I'm going to test it on that as well. Let's see. You can always get a nice, ooh, look at that. Look at that. That is nice. Go in deeper if you want. You want a nice cream. I like the creamy. Almost like a mousse. Okay. So wipe my fingers and let's heat set this baby. Okay. Let that cool off a little. this one here, see how it did with the extra tablespoon or teaspoon. Pretty good. Just a little bit that came off, so I'm just probably going to add a little bit more. Let's see. Well, over here it's pretty good. Not too bad. Got my fingers. My hands a little bit dry. There. Not bad, actually. I think that's good. It's pretty good. So I'm okay with the 2 tablespoons. Again, play it by ears, guys. You can tweak it a little bit, but rub if you see that. See, this one's perfect. I love this here. If you see that you're getting a lot of seepage, like oily seepage, I mean, or it's, you know, if you have oily substance, naturally it is going to get oily. Your paper's going to get oily, and it's going to look horrible, right? So you don't want that. You want to make sure you have color versus oil. So if you rub it and you don't get anything on your finger, and if you do get a little bit, it's not a big deal. But if you get a lot, then that means you need to go in there and add more of your bonding agent, okay? Because you don't want, see, that's did good. You don't want the stuff on your fingers. You want it on the surface. So test it. Keep testing it until you have the right consistency. And when you're comfortable with that, then you're good to go. Let's heat set that again. Let it cool off, and I think it should be good. It's starting to harden up. Remember, in between each ingredient, make sure you warm it up if you're using it, heating it up with a heat gun. Otherwise, I'm going to heat this up because I want it to harden up, solid, not lumpy. Okay, I'm going to heat it up so that it becomes liquefied, and then when it cools off, I want it to harden up without lumps. So that is good right there. So we did 6 teaspoons of mineral oil, half a cup of beeswax, 2 tablespoons of clear Elmer's glue. Clear, guys, clear, not the white one, clear, okay? And we did 3 teaspoons of the 1 Pearl X, which is the dual blue green, and 1 teaspoon of the citrine color, and we got this beautiful color that's absolutely beautiful. And even if I did it on my wood, remember, every surface is different. It's nice, and let's dry that up so you can see that. You want to test it on all your surfaces as well. And there you go. Okay, so even me. Yeah. So even if I tried to spread it, I can't, because I have dried it to the surface. Okay, and that's what you want. Okay, you want something that will adhere to your surface and not something that's going to be all over the place, okay? You want it on your surface, not on your hand or any other surface. So that is it, guys. That's all you need to create your own wax. Again, play around, get a feel for what you want. Mix. Don't be afraid of mixing different colors. I know I said I was going to try the food coloring. Let's see, yellow and blue makes green, and I have green here, so I can't do that. I don't know what. Wish there was some red. I might try some red food coloring because I don't have any of that, but just play around, experiment, see what you get. Let me know what you come up with, and I can't wait to see what you guys create. Till next time, guys. Bye-bye.